Hey everyone, welcome back here at AMS Evolution North America. I'm so pleased to be joined by Jaime Moore, who's a Senior Principal Engineer at Toyota here in North America. And Jaime, you've been bringing a perspective, an interesting perspective here to our event, including R&D and development. Also how that impacts manufacturing as well. But firstly, we're talking a lot at this event about constant change and transition. What does that look like on the R&D process? How is it impacting how you engineer and develop the vehicle?
Yeah, I think mostly what we're seeing is a really big increase in the scope of what it is that we're being asked to do in our individual daily jobs. In the past, we might have been just focusing on simple individual parts. Our job was, we had an ICE engine, we had the chassis that was set on top of it, underneath it we had the body on top. We had our individual parts that we worked on. And none of that has changed. The basic fundamentals of the things that we're designing aren't changing, but we're adding to that almost on a daily basis of what it is that we need to learn. So some of that is going to be, the new commodities. We're learning things like BEV, we're learning new technologies. We're also learning all the new softwares and things that we need to learn in order to be able to do our jobs. So that's the main thing that I'm seeing is just the increase in the scope of our work. And so with that, we have to be able to be adaptable and really be able to approach that with a very open mind so that we can begin to learn those things. So one of the things I'm really seeing is this focus for us on becoming more flexible and adaptable, and I see more rotations happening within the organization to allow people to learn these new skills, to communicate with people outside of maybe their own department. This doesn't take away from the experts that we still have, but for sure that there is more of a focus on growing that within the organization.
And is it bringing you more contact with manufacturing, both Toyota plants or even supplier plants?
Yeah, I think that's always been baked into what we do. Every stage of our design process includes intense interaction. I would say honestly probably even more with supplier than with the plant, but for sure with the manufacturing facilities. I think with the compressed schedule, it's going to become even more important to bring the manufacturing facility and the supplier voice in as early as possible. I think what we've kind of said is, with limited time, you don't have time to make a mistake.
Nope.
And so the only way that you're going to be able to do that is to get the voices of the people that are affected by your decisions into the conversation as quickly and as early as you can.
We talk a lot in the industry about the importance of design for manufacture, feasibility studies that would have to be integrated. Are you seeing a shift here to beyond that into manufacturing optimization, supply chain logistics optimization?
Absolutely. When we first started, or at least when I first started, I felt like so much of what we were doing was about feasibility. So we were looking at, can you make this shape? Can you form it? Can you stamp it? Can you injection mold it? And so it was really about what can we do? And with all these technologies, it's awesome because it offers us the ability to make and do and create more and more things. It also gives us a lot more choice, and that could be very difficult too. So what I'm seeing now is, we're beginning to say, well, now we have all these choices and we have to figure out how are we going to balance those. What is it that's driving our decisions around those different choices? And that's only accelerating as we're continuing to have more and more, again, like I said, scope to what it is that we're working with and the targets and requirements that we're having to meet. Specifically now, especially I'm learning even about what's growing and happening in the manufacturing organization. So what I'm seeing, at least internally, just as an example for us is, we may have cost reduction opportunities that in the past would have been these kind of no-brainer choices. But if they are driving things that would increase the floor space, if we see that they are really affecting logistics like dunnage and packaging, these are things we may not really have thought about in the past, certainly not with the weight that we do now, and they're having a huge impact, and they are driving whether we do or do not. They're changing how those decisions are being made.
What about innovations in materials? We see new material opportunities, both in interior and exterior. How is that changing your approach to design and engineering?
I think for us, the answer is, we are embracing everything, right? You want to go and develop anything that's going to be put in front of you. I think for us, there's I don't want to say that there's ever a limit. I think there's always an opportunity. So what we have to do is we have to say, if we have the opportunity to study a new material, if we have the chance to look into a new technology, we have to figure out where does it fit in.
Absolutely.
So it's not so much what the limit is, it's more of where does the opportunity for it to go? And then truthfully recognize if it doesn't fit, then you need to stop. So for us, I think we're looking at different materials, we're looking at different technologies. All of those things are on the table, and it's trying to figure out where do they fit and where don't they safe it and make the right decision.
Let's just conclude looking a little bit at the technology landscape, digital twin opportunities to integrate in between design and engineering, Gen AI opportunities there. What does the roadmap look like? How do you see these changes impacting your work?
I mean, I see digital twin as like the early version of it. You know, I mean, AI, I feel like AI, a calculator is a little bit of an AI, right? Every template that we have is a little bit of an AI, and we've been using those tools, but what it's going to be able to do for us is going to be so much bigger, and the scope of it is something that's, you know, we're still just trying to imagine it, and so I think we need to do that. We need to embrace that and imagine what it can do for us, and then harness that for us. You know, certainly digital twin, and that should help with our interactions between design and manufacturing. I think we should be looking at how can generative AI do that, and again, you know, the more that we can come together, the earlier that we can come together, the better we can all work together. And so all of these tools are just exactly that. They're tools to help make that happen. That's the important part.
Well, we're so glad you can come here and learn about manufacturing and help our manufacturing experts also learn more about the R&D side. A lot more where that came from. Jamie, thanks so much for speaking to us and being with here at AMS.
Oh, I'm so grateful you had me here. I really do appreciate it. Thanks
so much.